All right, all right. Hello, everybody. Is your world spinning like mine? Come on in. See some people on Instagram coming up. There. So, yeah. So we're going to do a little cleanup here on Wallie trees today. Not too serious. But yeah. Indiana, come on in. How do you best, see, that's a good question while everybody's coming in. How do you best care for GR pottery forms? Good question. The main thing is to keep them dry. That's really all you have to worry about. You can keep them vertical, stacking on top of each other. What I like to do is when I'm done using them, leave them out, kind of exposed so that they can dry out completely. And if you do that, they will last for a long time. So even if you are hello from England, coming soon maybe, huh? But if you are even pressing them into foam and using them pretty regularly, I would let them do a batch or under 20 probably, and then let them dry out. The more you can keep them dry, the better they work, and the longer they will last. Yeah, looking forward to meeting you at the Pot Glaze Workshop. Exactly. Yeah, I've been waiting a long time to come to England to Pot Glaze, so probably a month. What was it? About a month from now, I'll be there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. So thanks for jumping in here, coming in. I don't think, unfortunately, we're going to have the trees while I'm there, but or these, yeah, so they aren't going to make it in time. So, but we have lots of other fun stuff to talk about. So when I'm there. So yeah, how's everybody else doing? It was kind of a crazy week for me, but I also heard that there's the harvest moon coming up September 17. And I guess that brings out the wolves, right? We'll just say that. So yeah, I think it's crazy going on in your world. Maybe it's because of that harvest moon. I don't know. So everybody's got kind of interesting theories about that, but definitely that barometric pressure changes us, right? Some sort of pressure. I'm going to put this back on as you saw here. Oh, maybe let me just talk about that. Okay. First of all, I rushed this morning to make some stuff so that we could talk about cleanup. And what I did was I put just as let's explain this, I put all of these extra boards I have on here so I could have my board above the surface. So if I turn the wheel on, turning it on now, I could get it spinning here. Oop, going a little fast. Stop that. I can get it this rotating, and then you can't see it. Just out of the picture here, we have I have a fan going. So the fan is now blowing all directions. So it's not just one direction. So I'm using that to kind of dry these out quicker. And I thought, yeah, so trying to get these to leather hard so that I can kind of clean up the edge. And they're in pretty good, they're definitely, the lips of them are in much drier condition than and ready to go. So that's what I was doing here. That's why I had them spinning. That's why I had them on top of my wheel. And yeah. So let's just go into it here. I'm going to get rid of this stuff here so you can see a little better. And I love, part of the reason I even made this wheel in here is that if you can have everything within arm's length, it's much more convenient, and for me, I get distracted if I have to go walk over to the other side of the warehouse to get something. Potentially, I'm going to see something else that I was meaning to do before, and I'll start doing that too, right? So it's so good to just be contained in this one space here. And so if you can do that in your studio, it works out really well, and works out well for me too. So oh, one special delivery. Oh, I like that idea. Maybe I can fill a suitcase with some, not a full suitcase, but maybe. But I bet you, now that you said that publicly, that there's going to be somebody else that says the same thing, right? So we'll do what we can do to have some of those there. We shall see. And they're kind of fun. Fun. So, a little bit of just a little bit of talk of I am going to be in Toronto next week at Tucker's. Next weekend, next Friday, Saturday I'll be there officially. So next Saturday in Toronto. The week after that, I will be at Aardvark in California, and lining up a bunch of different demos around the Los Angeles area, mainly south. But yeah, that is yeah, me too, please. Yeah, see, love it. But anyway, and then in October I'm going to have a little European trip to, as you heard, Pot Clays, and also Scarva, and then Pottenvasker in the Netherlands. So doing some workshops at each of those. So look for, if you're in those areas, look for those for the shops to kind of promote those. We typically will re-promote those if once they publish them. So yeah, so little trip. Been anxious to come to Pot Clays. Been working with them for a long time, but have never been able to make it there. So with hopefully that'll be a fun workshop. We have some spaces available if you want to contact them. So all right, so let's get to it. Made a couple of these, and Delaney made a couple of these, so perfect. They were looking great. And so let's just start out with a general one here. Basically, this one is one where I cut outside of the form, and I think these are really nice because you get a really even edge if you cut on the outside of the form. Where sometimes with the other ones you might get a little more uneven edge, but we'll work with that and fix that and kind of get to that in a minute. But so stage 2. So we've let these dry. Typically, I like to leave them uncovered and let them just dry on their own. We have to make sure that they're drying evenly and all the way around. So make sure that you are keeping track of that. You can watch if one color, if you get some warping problems, you can kind of check by if there is if the color of the clay starts to get a little bit lighter on one side faster than the other. That means it's probably drying on that side faster. So make sure you kind of adjust to make sure that it dries evenly. Actually, if you don't mind, Delaney, can you shut this fan off?
Yeah.
Or unplug it. It's over there by it. So now what I'm going to do is on the camera it makes it look pretty even. If I look at this physically, it's very uneven. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my rasp shredder. If you're lucky to have a mud tool shredder, works really well. This one happens to be like a drywall wood. It's called a Sureform tool, I have a good contact with a hardware store person, and that so we have access to getting those, and so we resell them. They cost a little bit more because we have to cover our costs over here. But you can just go down to a home improvement store and pick one of these up, or if you want it delivered, we can deliver it to you for just a small little charge. But I'm going around, and I think it works really well to even out this edge. And the nice thing about it is that it will glide along that leather hard clay, and it doesn't dig in as much as if you were using like a trimming tool, like a loop tool. So I really think it's really nice to kind of remove a lot of material and even things out without a lot of skill. I think that it's just a matter of dragging that clay along that surface. As far as the trees themselves, we had a good amount of orders, and we're trying to get those out. We have maybe half of them out, a little more than half. We ran into some other problems with a couple other things we had going on, so we didn't get them out shipped out as quick as I thought we were going to, but they're coming. And there we go. So now I have this. I kind of like I like how even it is. If I want to have a nice kind of curve here, I could leave that curve. If I want to straighten that out, it'd be really easy to straighten that out. But I can now make the adjustments when it's flipped around to see how it goes. All right. Now what I'm going to do is take my rounding rib, and the bottom clay is still a little wet, so I'm going to try to reduce kind of handling it as much and put it down on the surface. All right, here's the pro tip for hand building. If you're new to hand building, or maybe having issues with hand building, I think cleaning up these edges at leather hard is an ideal time. And these are a little bit on the wet side, so I'm kind of trying to make do. But they are just a little stiffer. It'd be much better. So when they're stiffer, they have a little more resistance. And that resistance helps you to kind of clean that edge better. And I think it's really good to be, if you can hold it in your hand while you're doing it, the better it is, because you get a feel for that pressure. Like the hand that's holding it kind of absorbs the pressure that you're putting on it. It's kind of like if you're, I don't know if it's like the same, but it reminds me of like if you're holding a tray of glasses of champagne, right? And you kind of need to know. So if you take one off, you know how your hand kind of adjusts to that change in pressure. So that's a good way to not press too hard and crack the form or indent the form, like I kind of did here. And I'm just now adjusting it. So if I can hold on to it, feel like I have a lot better control of that pressure. Does that make sense? I hope so. Where was Amos? Who was that from? Can you drop that comment down on the top? I don't know if you can on Instagram, can you?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. Who is that? Where was Amos? Oh, it's from YouTube.
Yeah, it says it's like SF Stampede 23.
Okay.
So I'm not 100% sure.
Uh-huh. I wonder who that is. I'm thinking. Bee's Knees. Hello, Amanda. See, Amanda just popped on. If you guys are not following Amanda at Bee's Knees, you need to. She is amazing. Aw. So there we go. So that's pretty much what I want to do to clean this one up. It's mainly sorry, Instagram. Still trying to deal with this like camera situation with and I don't know if it's hard for me to stay in the confines of what it's filming. Hello, Tanya. Hello. So yeah, there we go. There's one way of kind of cleaning up that edge, and this works well for all forms. So like if I were going to use this this little oval form, I would do the same thing. I would cut on this outside edge, and then I'd come with a rasp to kind of clean it up, and then when it's leather hard, and then I would use my rounding rib to kind of round up that edge. So now there's Amanda. Hey. How's Missouri? Amanda's is a military family, so they get to move. So they just moved to Missouri for a new station there. Her husband. So oh man, that's got to be. Hopefully the girls are adjusting to new school life. It's got to be really hard. So you guys are tough, growing on me. Yeah. Oh. So this time you feel like it's home, then you get uprooted again, right? So, thank you for your service, for sure. Those military families, man, you owe them a lot. So now, here's one where I just cut the edges on the edge of the form, or maybe Delaney made this one, not sure, but we got 3 of them here like this. So this one I'm just going to clean up the edge and leave it as is. So you can see maybe it gets a little bit uneven, so I want to just even that out. Over here too, needs a little bit of trim off. I don't know what it is with this one. I switched to this, it must be, look how it creates this, and I almost like it. Like, as you know, like you got to find the problems and make the problems the good stuff. I wonder if it's the dryness of clay that makes it vibrate. This is the first one that it's done this much to it. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm gonna just add that on there. Well, see, it's got to be maybe it is moisture. I do definitely like that pattern it develops, but there we go. Speaking of, see, I love this kind of thing. So I'm going to take my rib here, clean up that edge just a little bit. I'm going to try to leave it flat though. Sorry, Instagram, I got to stay forward here. If like Instagram, it's really helpful to look at and connect. But if you want to see other people's comments or see a better angle view, then you could switch to either YouTube or Facebook even. So there we go. So I just straighten out those edges as much as possible. I'm actually going to use rib or a little tool here. So maybe I will just add on a texture onto the top of that lip. And this is just kind of a lined one. I'm going to start with this one from MKM. And this creates an even pattern. So maybe those vibrating marks on there from the shredder here will, Surform, will blend right in by adding texture over there. There we go. Well, that's kind of nice. The nice thing about adding texture too, though, is it really kind of does things for your glazes. So we are, this clay media that we use, we need to use some of these tricks for this natural fired product here, right? We're firing dirt basically, so. There we go. I think that one's pretty good. I don't know if you can see the texture on there very good. Maybe a little bit there where it's vibrating. Like vibrating. Yeah. So it's just, it's like the let me see the oops. That's the green screen too, but it's the same thing, right? Yeah.
Try it out on this one, maybe.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, maybe you can see that better there. A little bit better, yeah. There we go. So a little bit of texture on the rim. I think it is good to scrape away your crumbs, try to keep them off the side. So let's go back to kind of cleaning these edges again. I'm going to do two different, I'll just do one simple one here. With the rib. But that one got a lot of texture on it, so I was like, oh yeah, texture. So I'm just going to clean up that edge and see how nice and rounded it can be using that rounding rib. And it's really finding that sweet spot with the moisture content of the clay. You know, that leather hard stage is really nice. Oh, nice. So somebody got them, they like using them as a picture box. The other nice thing about these, are you thinking, yeah, Christmas or just the picture box in general? It's a different shape, huh? That's the thing, right? And that's why I think, I'd go back on my soapbox about just general shapes and how, you know, some of you might not think these are fancy enough for Christmas, but stay tuned. Maybe there will be one just for you. But it really kind of gives you these options of being able to do different things with different shapes, right? Just a general shape gives you just more options of design. So, what was I going to say about that? Oh, I was going to say, the really nice thing about these, if you buy all three, or just two, they really kind of nest really nicely together. So they'll store really nicely, and if you're going to use them functionally, you know, it'd be great to just use these to put different things around your tables in, right? On a holiday meal, or not even not a non-holiday meal. And I saw, you know, a lot of people for Halloween, you know, doing a Halloween decoration or Thanksgiving meal. But yeah, again, the nice thing with these smaller ones, especially, you should be able to. I made two of these in like 10 minutes, and now I spent like 5 or 10 minutes just cleaning it up, and now it's ready to go. Right? So, if you want to do any decoration or painting, that may take a little bit longer, but yeah, so such a good functional form here. Yeah, pizza slice, exactly. Candy corn, you know it. So Junction 16 wonders about Scarver pot lace. Yeah, I'm gonna work with that, especially since I'm coming into town. I might ship a box or take a few with me. The problem is if I just take a few with me, that they're gonna have to be you know, not everybody's gonna get them. It'll make everybody more anxious to have them. So hopefully I can send a box of each into each place and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Can you make a candy dish circle?
I think they mean, so they said pizza slice earlier, so you
Oh,
can
yeah.
make like a whole circle, like a pizza.
Oh, you mean?
Yeah.
But we do make circles. If you're referring to circles specifically as a shape, we do also make the round circle rounds of the same style of form. So you can get those. We have them individually or as a group of 5. So they're called Wallies. All these forms are called Wallies because they have that walled edge. So yeah. All right, now we're going to kick it up a little bit. And this one, if you have like a spot that gets a little bit low, or you want to build this up more, I'm going to do that next here. Yeah, so we'll see. I'll definitely try my best to have those there. It's a little tricky with this, and I know better, but it's so hard being a small company to have those big timelines, and be able to have all the stuff to everybody that we know in a certain time. One, it's hard to yeah. So we'll see what we can do with those places. So, all right, let's see. So, what I want to do here is I'm moving away my board here because I need a flat surface, and I'm just going to roll out a coil. And you could extrude a coil if you wanted, if you have access to an extruder. They're really fun tools, and they make nice even coils. But for me, I found that it's you can adjust. That's the whole fun of handmade things, is those adjustments. So I'm just going to roll out a coil and add it to the top. Maybe you want a different style end, different style of kind of rim or lip. So this is the way you could do it. So basically I'm going to see if this is going to be long enough. And just talk through. Oh, look how, oh man, I must be pro. Looks pretty good. So you can see I'm just going to add this on here, and I'm going to adjust as we go here, but because I just used fresh clay and I've been letting this other one dry out, I'm going to score and slip. What? Jeff? Scoring and slipping? Oh man. I think there's time and place. Just not every time. It's not always neat. But it'll help. See how this one has just a little bit of a thin area on the top? I don't know if you can see that. Really good, but it's just a little thin. So this coil is really will help me to even things out. It'll give me a nice kind of rounded surface, and it'll give me a little more height. So if you want to add more height, you could add 2 coils or 3 coils or 4 coils, whatever you kind of need. But yeah, here's another little dip here. So all I'm just doing there is how I like to score and slip is use a wire brush so it doesn't collect a lot of moisture, and then just kind of scratch and score that surface, and it kind of starts to collect clay in that coil. This is a really good way of dealing with porcelain, is this method. I learned this technique from Sam Chung. So he is at Arizona State, an amazing artist, professor, educator in clay, and that's where I learned. I went to one of his workshops. Talked about he was making like square rectangle teapots at the time. It's a long time ago, but I think it's a really nice way of kind of controlling where you're putting that material. Oh, now we got a little gap in there, and that's okay. It's so close to be tempted to stretch it, but the whole purpose of in this case was to add a coil to make it kind of rounded. Oh, there's already some here. So I'm just gonna kind of roll out, and I see there's a little bit of a dip in my coil right there. See if this kind of matches. Pretty good, maybe a little more off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this on an angle. Cut this on an angle. I don't know if you can see that angle on there. And then I'm going to cut like maybe an angle here. Add a little more moisture on there just in case it kind of got absorbed. And then those angles will help kind of lay on top of each other to make that transition a little easier. And then I can cut over here. There we go. And just kind of blend in that, with like a soft pressure, and blend in that seam. So in this stage here, I want to just make sure I'm adding on a nice little extra amount of clay here. There we go. This needs a little bit of blending here. And you can see how that adds on here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit. I might even tap it a little bit. Make it even. But now I'm going to let this sit overnight under plastic so that this top piece, moisture content, evens out closer to this bottom part. And then what I can do is I can come and I can kind of bring this down and smooth out this edge and kind of blend it all in. So if you wanted to make it even higher, you know, make it thicker, you could add another coil or two on there. Since we got a little extra time, let's do that. Any idea when these, oh yeah, I already asked that one. I answered that one, yeah. Anything else up there?
No, nothing new.
Okay. I'm sure a lot of you are really busy getting ready for shows and doing shows and filling galleries with work, getting the kids back to school, working. It's amazing how it changes so much in September, doesn't it? It goes from like I talked about that here. It goes from a nice kind of jog to a sprint in no time. Yes, and we know it's going to happen every year, and it happens. That's why we look forward to summer, because then things slow down. But it slows down, but it goes so fast. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So maybe this one seems to be a little bit thicker, but that's okay. I'm gonna use this one to kind of build up The first one I was more focused on just making a nice rounded top and like cleaning up that edge. On this one, I'm more concerned about gaining some height to this particular form. So. There we go. And you might have seen I didn't score this one, and I think I'm just going to leave it on there because in this case both of the coils are the same moisture content, right? So I'm going to just leave them the way they are. Because when I come back, and maybe I can film this or show this tomorrow. When I come back and blend this together, it will smooth all that out and make sure that it's really compressed to each other. So I don't necessarily need all of the extra moisture in there, just where there's difference in the moisture content, significant difference. All right, there we go. So that's pretty much all I have here for you today. Maybe kind of a quick review. We have kind of this kind of a edge where you cut outside of the wood, outside of the form, and then you want to kind of clean up those edges, round them off. This is standard if you kind of trim along that edge, and you saw last week I used this slingshot tool to cut along that edge, and then I just came back with a rib and smoothed that all out. Here I smoothed out the edge and then came back with a texture tool and made a texture on top of that rim. And then finally I just added some coils to be able to gain some height or to kind of smooth out or even out the top of the plate or the rim. Oh, maybe you want to scroll up. It looks like there's a comment. I haven't tried Wallies yet. Are they harder to make or dry than the original forms? Great question. They are definitely different. And the reason they're different is with the Wallie forms, they're really easy to make, but you want to remove the form from the Wallie. So yeah, it looks like Instagram ended. It says end. Oh no, end live video. No,
No,
there we go.
There you go.
Oh yeah. So that's the case where we have to remove that form immediately. Otherwise, as it dries, it's going to shrink and it's going to crack. With the round ones, or the OGs, the 45-degree angled ones, those you want to leave them on there until it's leather hard. So you leave the form on there until it's leather hard. So those are the big differences. So in that case, you should be able to make these a lot faster and have just one form with these Wallies. But I'm surprised on how well originally I thought, the whole point of having a form was to support those edges, but because they're vertical edges, they're supporting themselves quite well. So yeah. Oh yeah. Oh Jane, that's what you're gonna have to find out. How many forms will it take to make a circle? Yeah. Let's see. I bet it's gonna be like 10. That's my bet. Yeah, because this is a little more than halfway around. Yeah, 8 or 10 probably, depending. Yep. So good question. So yeah, so that's hopefully that helps with kind of dressing those edges. We really see it's kind of boring. I think kind of boring. It's very quick, but it's definitely very important. So I want to take the time today to kind of talk about that and kind of go through those different stages of what you need to do along the way. Go good. It makes sense. All right. Thanks, Beach Knitter. That's a good title. All right, anybody. Any last questions? Otherwise, we are actually going to come back on Wednesday next week, and we are going to release a new item. Sort of new. It's new. Yeah, So we kind of talked about a little bit last week what it might be, but there's going to be 9 new items available next week, Wednesday. So again, we're just trying to put those out there for this fall season, for this Christmas season. So distributors, maybe they'll have them for you to buy for your friends for gifts over Christmas, or or be able to use them right at the beginning of the new year. So yeah. So hopefully we'll see you next Wednesday. If not, we'll see you along the way. Thank you for being here, and definitely reach out to us if you have any questions. Bye now.